Hi everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we will learn how to create a beautiful neumorphic Twitter login form using just HTML and CSS. So let's get started. Here we have a div element that is used to create a container for the form elements. Next we have an empty div element that seems to be a placeholder for the Twitter logo. Next we have a div element that displays the text Twitter representing a title or logo of the page. Next we have a div element that groups the form input field and set the login button. Here we have label element that is used for labeling the email input field. Here we have an input element that is used for entering an email address. The type email attribute indicates that it should be a valid email input, and the placeholder attribute provides a hint text to the user. Next, we have a label element that is used for labeling the password input field. The input element is used for entering a password, and the type password attribute indicates that it should be a password input. And the placeholder attribute provides a hint about password requirements. Next, we have a button element that represents a login button. It is styled as a simple button but can be further styled with CSS. Now let's set CSS. Here we are targeting all the input elements on the web page. By setting caret color to red. Now let's tell the body element. Here margin is set to 0, width is set to 100 VW, height is set to 100 VH. Here we set the background color to a light background color. Display is set to flex. Align item is set to center. And the justify content is set to center, so that it center the child elements both vertically and horizontally. Place item is set to center. Text align is set to center, so that it center the text within the container. Overflow is set to hidden, so that it hides any content that might overflow. And the font family is set to sans serif. Now let's set the container. Here position is set to relative. Width is set to 350 pixel. Height is set to 500 pixel. So that it creates a fixed size for the form. Border radius is set to 20 pixel. So that it adds round corner to the container. Padding is set to 40 pixel. Box sizing is set to border box. Background is set to light grayish color. And here we create a neumorphic shadow effect on the container. It consists of two shadows on the top right and another the bottom left. Now let's style the brand logo. Here height and width is set to 100 pixels, so that it create a square shape. Next we set the background of the logo. You can replace this with your desired logo image. Margin is set to auto, so that it centers the logo horizontally. Border radius is set to 50%. Box sizing is set to border box. And here we apply a neumorphic shadow effect to the logo. Now let's tell the brand title. Here margin top is set to 10 pixels, so that it creates some space between the title. Font weight is set to 900, so that it make it bold. Font size is set to 1.8 rem. Color is set to blue color, and letter spacing is set to 1 pixel, so they add a slight letter space. Now let's tell the inputs field. Here text element is set to left. Margin top is set to 30 pixels, so that it creates space between the brand title and the input field. Now let's target the common style for label, input and button. Here display is set to Blob. Width is set to 100%. Padding is set to 0, so that remove any padding. Border is set to none, so that remove any border around this element. Outline is set to none, and the box sizing is set to border box. Now let's set the label. Here margin bottom is set to 4 pixels. Now let's target the second label, especially the password label. Here margin top is set to 12 pixels, so they create more space between the email and password labels. Now let's set placeholder. Here color is set to gray color. Now let's target the styling for input field. Here we set the background color to a light grayish blue. Padding is set to 10 pixels, so to create some space around the text. Padding left is set to 20 pixels. Height is set to 50 pixels, so we make them taller than the default size. Font size is set to 14 pixels. Border radius is set to 50 pixels, so that it add a large border radius to the input field. Next we set the box shadow. Here we create inset box shadow, adding a neumorphic effect to the input field. The shadow is applied on both side, right and bottom of the input field. Now let's tell the button element. Here color is set to white. Margin top is set to 20 pixel, so they create some vertical spacing between the button. Background color is set to blue, so that match with Twitter branding. Height is set to 40 pixel. Border radius is set to 20 pixel, so they add border radius of 20 pixel to the button. Cursor is set to pointer. Font weight is set to 900, so it make bold. Next we here create a box shadow effect on the button, which add a depth neumorphic. It consists of two shadows, one of the right and one of the button. And next we set a transition of 0.5 second, so that it adds a smooth transition effect with a duration of 5 seconds. Now let's set hover. Here box shadow is set to none, so we remove the box shadow effect. So that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow developers, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting web development content.